Live. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Community Roundtable here in the Gummed Off Kingdom. My name is Wild Paparazzi, joined always by our gracious host, Gummed Off the Great. What is up, Vinny?
Not much, Rick. How are you?
Vinny, are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you ready for a bloodbath tonight?
This was a request.
Because tonight we're in the debate club, boys. We're debating the best mainline Final Fantasy game. We've got a couple special guests here with us tonight. First and foremost, we've got Jeremy, a.k.a. Layden, returning. What's going on, sir?
Hello.
I think you were on the last stream when we were coming up with this, so this will be fun. This will be fun. And then of course, we've also got the Attack from All Sides big boss man, Kangas Khan, with us as well. What's going on, Kangas?
Hello. I hate this game.
You guys are playing Strive tonight. A lot of hype around the new character, so we're playing some Strive tonight. But before we get into our topic, just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Of course, we've got Junk Food Custom Arcades. If you haven't checked them out, be sure to do so. Junk Food Custom Arcades has all sorts of hitboxes, snack boxes, arcade sticks, fighting game peripherals, things of that nature. If you're looking to step your game up in your favorite fighting game, check out Junk Food Custom Arcades. Of course, got to shout out the shop, Micro Game Play and Trade, Vinny, yourself, of course, Chris, the owner. We've had a lot of good streams and a lot of fun times there. So if you're looking to play some retro games, buy some retro games, buy some new games, talk to some really cool people, check out Micro Game Play and Trade. And then, of course, we got to shout out our Syracuse FGC folks. We've got Syracuse Sucker Punch and, of course, Attack from All Sides. Be sure to check both those groups out there. They're hosting our monthlies now. A lot of big information coming out here. Big announcement last stream. And, Con, I'm sure you're going to be talking about it a little bit more towards the end here. But we'll remind our folks there. So, Vinny, there's the intro. Let's talk about the rules for tonight.
All right. So right now, there's 4 of us in here, and we've all played a Final Fantasy game. I'm not willing to debate it because I've already heard both sides, and I kind of agree with everybody here. But everyone gets 2 minutes. I have the tier list to throw up on stream. You have 2 minutes to state why you picked this game and why it is the best Final Fantasy game. After your 2 minutes is up, everyone gets to try to rip you apart.
Now, just to be clear, so this is the mainline Final Fantasy game.
Mainline
Final Fantasy
game.
1 through 14? 15? Is that what we're doing?
15.
Okay.
No tactics is off limits, no side games. Because I think a lot of people would argue that Final Fantasy Tactics is the best Final Fantasy game. I've heard that argument before. I've heard it hundreds of times.
We might get some hot takes tonight.
So,
is what you're saying.
I told him I'd let him go first. I'm going to pull his tier list up here. After I stop the rotator from last night. So it's Kangas is going to go first.
Hi.
You
yes.
2 minutes to defend your favorite game.
So, am I defending 14 or am I defending 10?
That is.
Because I blew it.
Which one is better?
14 is better.
Okay. Why? You got 2 minutes.
Your
Go.
2 minutes start now.
So, 14 probably has one of the most satisfying stories of most Final Fantasy games. Part of that is just because as an MMO it went on for so long, right? But if you really stuck in it and was playing as long as I was, the payout just was so incredibly satisfying. And then also I really enjoyed the gameplay as an MMO. So obviously, Final Fantasy XIV took heavily off of WoW in terms of gameplay stuff, and I think they did a really good job at it. They knew that probably, WoW had pretty much figured out the good parts of MMO combat formula, and they just emulated it. And then also I get to be a really big, hot, tall girl. And raids are fun, and I really like the raids in there because some people have a thing about the raids, being like a dance, but I really like that it's a dance because it feels really satisfying to me. But yeah, I mean, it looks good, it plays good, the story's great, characters are great, memorable, cool shit happens. There are lots of cool moments if you're a Final Fantasy fan because there's so many, there's so many callbacks and different cameos and references to a bunch of other games. They got the what is it like? What five? Like most Final Fantasies have some type of representation in that,
So does
and
Nier.
Nier has Nier. They had a patch the butt.
Yep. I remember that.
Which was really funny. And yeah, so I mean, all around, I've only played one Final Fantasy for as long as I have for 14, and you know, that's 14. There's a reason for it.
Okay, there's your 2 minutes. Fair enough. A lot to unpack there.
So
Jeremy,
All right, give me
your
a second
2 minutes
here, sorry.
starts. Oh,
Sweating
okay,
a little
okay.
bit.
Are you playing? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I'm actually playing Strive. I hate it here.
Wow.
I hate it here.
What character do you even play in Strive? I don't even
Nago.
know. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Nago.
Are you Venom Honk?
He is.
Yeah,
I mean, I
That's
assume.
I thought so. This shit. So I was geeking. I had to mute my mic.
Venom Honk.
Fucking. Why am I so stressed? I don't play this fucking game. Why are you eating?
Oh, there's more matches. Okay, I'll get to it. All right. So where do I start here?
2 minutes starts now.
Okay. All right. So my favorite Final Fantasy game, as many know, is Final Fantasy VIII. I think it does not get the credit it deserves. I think a lot of the time I have to hear the same arguments about why it's not a good game that just aren't true. And yeah, I don't really. I was against including the MMOs because of their nature as MMOs, but I get it. Because if we're going to judge games like that, a lot of the time we have to judge them based on like their first iterations. So I don't think A Realm Reborn's that good, so it's hard to do that.
It's fair. I agree. Heard that a lot.
Okay, you got a minute and 15 seconds. Is that you? Are you good?
For now, yeah, I have to see like what exactly I'm arguing against here.
Okay.
Alright. Rick, you didn't give me a list,
So-
but I know you've played a few. What's your favorite that you have played out of the bunch, at least?
So I admittedly have only really played 2 that I put time into, and that was 10 and 13. So I guess 10 would be the easier one for me. But I'm not gonna like debate because I really can't like argue the other ones because I've never played the other ones.
That is
But
fair.
I've always liked 10. 10 was my first Final Fantasy to play. I always thought the opening intro sequence was really, really beautifully done, especially on the PS2 era. I thought the characters were great. They all had like a little different flair. A lot of people didn't care for the grid system there as far as the upgrading or the sphere system, whatever it was called there. But I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool being able to kind of like pair your characters or move your characters into the different spheres there based upon how you wanted to build them. Really, really good story in my opinion, and I always really liked the graphics. Thought it was a fun game. So that's for me. What about you, Vinny? Which one was your favorite?
I played a majority of them. My favorite mainline game would have, because I didn't play the MMOs. I've only heard about them. I've heard like the praise for 14 is like through the roof. The one that I played the most, and I know a lot of people are like, bro, it's like 6. Final Fantasy 6. I love the characters. I love how Kefka wins. I love how the villain wins. But I that trilogy 6, just 6. Well, actually 6 through 9 in general are just they're fucking godlike games. I like 10, the first 10, 10-2. I don't want to talk about 10-2.
I do.
I know you do. 12, I give or take what you like. I didn't care for 12 that much. 13-1 was okay. 13-2 and 3 didn't really care. I really just didn't care for 15 because I didn't like any of the characters. I'll be honest. But I have to say,
I thought 15 had some fun gameplay.
I'd have
I
to
thought that was
say
kinda
like
neat.
the 2 I played the most were definitely 6 and 9. But I liked 6's characters just a little more, so I'd say 6.
You played 9?
Yes.
The most? Really?
Yep, 6 and 9 were the ones I
9
spent the most time in. I put time into 7 as well. I like 7's we talked about it before, but I like 7's music a lot. I don't think 7's the greatest game everybody makes it out to be.
I think
I
for
think-
the time that it was.
I think it's a fine game. And then 8, I do like 8. I know I pick on 8 a lot because I don't like Squall that much. Never have. But 8 is a fine game as well. So, but I'd pick 6. I'd be honest. I'd pick 6.
What don't you like about Squall? I think the
don't
one
like
thing
them.
that was appealing, the one thing that was appealing to me about 8 was the fact that it was a PS1 game that actually looked cooler than 7, because I couldn't get behind blocky folks.
Well, yeah, that's why it's like the argument can be made for a lot of stuff. That's why it's like for the time when 7 came out, yeah, sure, 7 was definitely the fucking the shit. Everybody played it. Everyone knew what it was. I agree with you. 8's graphics were significantly better and just were not as much of an eyesore. But
Squall was edgy.
I just didn't like them, man. I'll say that for most of the protagonists, though. Like the very main character of Final Fantasy games, I don't like most of them.
Yeah, I had that. I had that discussion a little earlier in the chat. How I think a lot of people like to talk about the protagonists, and it's like usually in Final Fantasy games, like the protagonist is not very likable.
Yeah, Yanni. Squall's
just-
design is
They
hard.
just aren't like
Goes hard.
the main character on the box art is always the character I seem to hate the most.
That's fair.
Like, I didn't like Lightning as much as I liked Saz. Tifa and Vincent and Sid are way cooler than Cloud. Terra's fucking
everyone's cooler than Cloud.
Terra's fucking awesome. Like
I would like a Final Fantasy game with all the edgelords.
Terra not the
So,
main character.
Let me get Squall.
I guess
let me
she
get
is.
Lulu.
I don't know. I don't
Terra
know.
is the main character.
Yeah,
Let me
that's
get
what I was gonna say. I was
Noctis.
like, what?
But
Let me get
Like-
what was the dude from Crisis Core? What was his name?
Oh,
Zack?
No. Yeah, let me get a Final Fantasy game with all the edgelords. It's gonna be great.
I think the majority of them I don't like because they're all just a bunch of whiny fucking bitches. That's why I don't like most of them.
That's crazy.
Oh,
But
Zaz
That's just my.
being the
That's
goat?
just. I think Saz is cool. You know who
I thought he was
didn't.
cool. He had
You
two
know who
guns and a bird
Lightning
in his
is
hair.
cooler than in 13 though. I really didn't like that Hope kid. I
Oh,
thought,
did you? Did you not?
I
Did you
thought-
not like Hope?
Nope.
did you not like Hope?
Nope. I thought he was mad
Did you
annoying.
not? Did you not like Hope?
Nope. Nope. Not I.
Listen, let me get a Final Fantasy game. You could put Cloud in there. Give me Lightning. Put Squall, Lulu, Zack, or whatever his name was from Crisis Core. All the edgelords. Give me them all. Put them in a game.
But Zack is cooler than Cloud though.
Hope was so bad they had to redo him into a different character in X2.
Fucking hated that.
Oh, really?
Dude, the minute he started talking,
Yeah,
I
the
was
main
like,
character
what the fuck?
in 13-2, that's actually like a version of Hope.
Wow. Yeah, Hope was bad.
I didn't
Hope
like
He was
him.
the healer, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking that, like, in my mind, I'm trying to think of a worse character, and I can't think of one worse than Hope.
I hated that character so much.
Zack's not even edgy. I think I'm saying it just because he's got like the emo haircut a little bit.
I mean, he's just got black spiky hair.
I'll
Yep.
ask Yanni and Mordred. Do you guys want to make your case? I'll invite you into the booth.
Oh, yeah,
I'd
we
love to
haven't
hear
had
your
Morgan
guys'
come in yet.
take on what is the best Final Fantasy game ever made in the mainline series.
So
Before we let Khan and Jeremy go at each other's throats here.
no, I mean, if, you're
shit's
about
a-
to make this room real degenerate by
That's
adding
totally
fucking Yanni and
fine.
Mordred.
That's totally fine. I've only played like 4 of them. All right, then you're not coming in. Khan said everything I needed to say. Okay, fine. All right.
Do I RC in this game again?
It's a
Figure it
button.
out.
Buttons.
Yeah, I
It's three
was
buttons.
dude, I couldn't remember throw. I couldn't remember my throw bind. I was like, what the fuck is throw?
Well, then, do you want to come in and argue with Jeremy why 14 is better than 8?
I just, man, I will always argue against 14
All right.
because I'm like, no, they had too much time to iron that out. that initial story, you cannot sell me that it was good. It was fucking terrible.
On 14?
Yes.
Con, you got a counterpoint to it?
No, Realm Reborn sucked. Like doing the story of Realm Reborn is the biggest hurdle in that fucking game, bar none. No one can say otherwise.
Yeah, so
Realm Reborn starts off so like slow and dry, and like has so much shit that doesn't matter, and it's insane. And then you get into Heavensward, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is a real game now.
Have Jeremy and Con rank the expansions?
It doesn't help.
I could do that.
We could do that because we do have opinions on that.
Well, first,
We've had this. This is a discussion we've had
So-
before.
let's take 14 out of the question because you had 10 up there as well. Why is 10 better than 8?
Why is 10 better than 8?
Let's have that. Or let's
10.
have that.
Okay, so when we started with 10, right? It's the first Final Fantasy of like a new generation, right? It's the first one that's on PS2. You get into it and you start it up, and what's the first thing you get, right? You get the fucking opening with that fucking Rammstein knockoff song, and it's fucking sick, right? There's fucking explosions of water everywhere, fucking people in a water bubble beating shit out of each other. It's super cool, right?
Blitzball.
And the way the game sets itself up, it just like from beginning, like it's just really impressive, especially at the time, right? Where when you had 8, right? Like we already saw what a PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy looked like, right? And I don't think 8 really did much for that in some ways. I mean, for not like overworld, yes, for sure. Because if you look at like Cloud running around on the map versus like Squall running around on the map, there's a clear difference here, right? But
I was gonna say, like, I don't understand the point because 7 was still just blocks. Like,
Yes,
8
correct.
had actual characters.
they did. And then, but they didn't have 10. They didn't have fucking Titus running around. Fucking. And the storyline itself also, just the sort of story of you're on this impossible mission, and it like sort of the fate sort of like puts you all together, like, you know, to be set up for impossible, like all these people on these like impossible missions, right? And it's this like weirdly like depressing undertone of throughout the whole thing, because everyone knows they're on a suicide march. And from the beginning, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Titus doesn't really know it for a while, but like everyone else knows they're on a suicide march. And, you know, and just the build up of that to the reveal, to the Titus being like, nah, fuck this shit, and then the story going through with it, you know, fuck God, right? Wakka's a racist. There's just so many different levels to the characters and who they are as like people that really like add to this story as a whole, and they're all super memorable. Like I can think of, like, I didn't really play that much of 8, so I guess I don't know for sure, but like I don't know what the fuck they're about. Like, but 10, like everyone just felt unique and like memorable, and the fact that the combat, you can just swap them out on the fly, was super fucking cool. None of that like, oh, I gotta figure out what 3 really, you know, I gotta like mess with. Like none of that. You mess with everybody. You know what I mean? Just swap them out on the fly. Was that me or Strive?
No, that was you.
What's the argument?
Well, that point specifically regarding like switching in party members, I fucking hated that. Because my biggest gripe with 10's battle system, which will forever be my biggest gripe, is the fact that, like, oh, did you not put any levels or time into someone with a ranged attack? Guess what? You don't get to fight flying enemies.
How would it be possible to not do that in some way?
I mean, I always had one, right? But it was just like, it was a pain in the ass because it's like, I just want to run my party. Like, I want to run my gang. I don't want to run like Wakka, because I didn't like Wakka as a character. I was never a Wakka fan. So I was always just like, I don't know why I'm forced to use this fucking racist, bro. Like, I don't want to use him in my squad, but I have to.
Real quick, can we just kind of dive into how he was racist? Because I feel like I missed that.
Oh, so
when I was
like,
a kid.
okay, Wakka, Riku is part Elbad. Elbad are basically like the big machine guys. Like, they run the machine world. He hates them. Like, it is not a small fact in that game.
Well, no, it is. He
He would
fervently
literally,
hates them.
yeah, he would stub his toe and be like, "Fucking hell, bad man." Like, he literally cannot stand them through the whole game.
because of
Okay.
God.
And he
Because
like, yeah. So Yevon is his belief, which is like the overarching, like that's what the summoners come from, and they fight sin and they do their thing, but it's all a ruse. But his beliefs slowly change, but like he is still intensely racist by the end of the game. Like he's like knows he has to party with Riku and be like friends, and they become buddy, but they're still, it's still there, man.
Damn. Okay.
Yanni asked
Definitely
what your
missed
squad
that.
was.
Oh, and 10, Yuna, Titus, Orin.
Here you go, Yanni. There's your answer.
Oh, Orin? Yeah, Orin was fucking badass.
I had to have Orin. That's the coolest character in the game, bro. Hands down. Second coolest character in the game, Bahamut Summon.
oh yeah, fucking the summons in that game are sick. They're so fucking cool.
Third coolest character,
What-
Yojimbo Summon.
What was like the skull like
Anima.
sarcophagus?
Anima.
Yeah.
Who was a fight in 14?
Unfortunately, just a fight. Sure is a fight.
Why do they keep doing 10 like this?
Who knows?
Because Yojimbo is also in Final Fantasy 14, also as a boss fight in a dungeon, and it's just like, please, why does
Yeah,
like
say it louder from the back, Yanni. It should have been a trial, and we should have had half the group had to fight up top, and half the
Yes!
group should have had to fight
Yes!
bottom.
It
Like,
writes
period.
itself. I don't understand.
Like, it could have been a split fight. It could have been sick. No, go fuck yourself. That's what they told us, man.
So upsetting.
Alright.
But yeah,
Go on.
10, and I didn't mind the leveling system. I thought it was fine. I'm not like in love with it, but it's definitely not the best in Final Fantasy, but it's not bad to me. And then I loved Blitzball, so
I was gonna say that was like the one thing a lot of
Blitzball.
people bring up.
Yeah, Blitzball's probably the reason that, what did 10 end up in A tier for me, I think? That's a large part of the reason I love Blitzball.
bring Blitzball back.
Mordred's installing 10 now.
Good.
Hey, go play Blitzball. Yeah, but there's just so much that they did so well in the game, and it just looks so pretty, and I love the story, and anyone who comes at me with the ha bullshit, I will fucking execute you, because contextually, it makes sense.
You mean
Yes.
the laugh scene? Is
Yes.
that what
He is forcing himself to do a bad laugh. Like,
He's
that is
literally
literally the
forcing,
theme.
they are forcing themselves to laugh, because it's
It was
that
a
or
sweet
die.
moment. It was a sweet moment, all right?
Like, and it's amazing too, because at that time Titus doesn't even know like what Yuna's so fucked up about. You know what I mean? Like, he knows that she's got a lot. He's like, oh yeah, she's got a lot on her shoulders, and she's just stressed out about it. No, that bitch knows she's on a suicide march. Like, she's gonna watch all of her friends die, and then she's gonna die, and then it's like
Don't forget
people are
that.
like, oh, it's like, yes, I would fucking be panicking too if I was under all these circumstances.
Can't forget that Yuna dances and people die.
Yeah, that is kind of funny though. I do like that meme.
I
But
think
yeah.
everyone does.
It's really good. It's one of the better memes. I like it more than the ha ha ha. There's stories about dads. There's stories about brothers. There's all sorts of fucking storylines happening. They're all good. And then 10-2 happened, and then that was a game.
That was a game.
It was a game. I remember fucking loading that shit up for the first time in that opening scene, and I was I had to have been 13, 14 something at the time. When did that come out? FFX2
Question.
release date 2003. So I was 12. So actually I was 11 because I turned 12 that month. So I remember as a little 11-year-old boy, that's happening, and I'm like, what is it going on? Especially as someone who played 10. You know what I mean? Like, this starts up, I'm like, what the fuck's happening? Like, I don't understand. Why is Yuna on a stage? What's this song? What's going on? And then playing that game for as long as I did, apparently, so I never beat that game. and apparently I gave up at the last boss and just didn't know it at the time.
I
And
think. What you did? You never beat 10?
10-2.
Oh, 10-2.
Yeah, and I gave up like at the last boss, I guess, and because I didn't know it was the last boss, but I was like, I can't play this anymore. This is I was getting like beat up by it too, so I was like, I don't care anymore. Just stop playing. So everything about that game was confusing and weird, and the only good thing that came out of it was the fucking job system.
That's fair.
'Cause that job system was actually kind of cool. Like they took some of the like I think it. When was the last time they had like a job system like that? Like it was reminiscent of like almost like a Final Fantasy 2-3 type job system. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, you have these classes and you could like you are these classes. You know what I mean? And it's not like the sphere grid or like in 7 with the materia and you like focused on where classes were literally non-existent in that game, and you like sort of built the character the way you wanted it. It's like you took these classes and like built them out, and and I thought it was neat that they all had like unique costumes and stuff. I did enjoy that part of it, but you could be a Moogle. That was a thing. But that game is hot garbage.
No, we are not including Stranger of Paradise.
No, no, not a mainline.
Best game.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
I actually don't know that. I haven't played that game.
I
would like to
enjoyed
though.
it because it's very, very fucking corny, and it's just funny.
Yeah, it looks really corny. I'm like really here for it. There are like fucking 7 people in line down there. There's like 3 other
I
fucking
set up 4
stations.
machines for a reason.
What's wrong with y'all?
They all want to fight Jeremy.
But yeah, so the legacy of like 10 after 10 is mad sus, but 10 itself is really good.
Okay.
She's fucking sitting there at the edge, fucking whistling. Ah, God!
Alright. So, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
So, why is 8 better than 10?
Is 8 better than 10? Yeah, it is. It is better than 10.
Let's hear it.
Why?
Alright, so a lot of the discussion around 8, like, that kills me is a lot of people are, really focused on Squall. No, actually, that game sells itself on, like, Laguna and all his shit. And it drives me crazy that people just completely don't consider that as part of the playable experience. Laguna's, like, the best protagonist, and that's why he's the second protagonist in the game. Sorry, I gotta do some mix-ups here. Give me a second.
He's using his brain power to focus.
I think I just killed him with that. No, I don't think I'm getting wall break here.
No.
We should turn on the Twitch chat.
Bro. Strive actually doesn't change. People are the same players, bro.
When's the last time you played Strive, Jeremy?
Oh,
it's
I
a
gotta
long
be approaching
time.
a year now. Yeah.
I was gonna say you knew when that was coming up. He went.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
like
could be a long time.
8's story it's a lot of man, I can't talk and play this game at the same time. This game actually makes me mad. I forgot. This is crazy.
I'll tell you what 8 does. Suck.
Hot shots.
Why is Potemkin a fucking bear, Vinny?
Because it's funny.
Oh my God,
You
it looks
missed
so
You
fucking
missed
bad.
it.
I love that the
Soul
character
is,
portrait is still a bear too.
I made it so Soul is Kiryu from Yakuza.
Oh wait, hold on. You're onto something here.
I found that one and I was like, bro, this is too good. And Kippy was just playing a few matches ago, and I was like, damn, it even looks good. Oh, dude, every
Bro,
time,
Hammerfall is punishable. Come on, people.
dude, every time I do Strive, you just gotta pay. I find some of the coolest mods and funniest shit.
Yanni's like, I thought your soul was Urian.
No, it was Kiryu in a blue. Well, he must be playing like color. What is it? Color 5 is blue. If you pick color 1, he's in like the classic like gray suit. I wish it was Frank West, and they should have given him a baseball bat.
It was Frank West. Oh no.
Forgot what else I turned.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna
have
jump on 7.
I have the Hank Hill round call on too.
So 7 is not as good as everyone remembers. And if 7 is your favorite, it's because you had no further joy in your life because you're too busy thinking about that magical time when you played 7 as a child. Like, that game looks like ass, is confusing as fuck, and people try to justify, like, the translation issues. It's like, no. Yeah, okay, yeah, there were translation issues. That doesn't fucking justify, like, the fact that the game that we got made 0 fucking sense. The remake is cool.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the remake a lot, actually. That game, it looked... Yes, Morgan, it looks terrible. It looks absolutely fucking awful. Like, the Popeye shit's weird. Fucking, it's polygonal as fuck. And I just don't...
Polygonals.
Because, like, people just have fond memories of it as being a kid. You know what I mean?
Nostalgia glasses.
It's got the nostalgia glasses soup, which I am a fucking hater of, like, most nostalgia things, because most of them are, in fact, awful. And no one really wants to see it. And, the actual story, right, like, translated properly, could, like, save that game, I feel. It's still, like, kind of, like, fucking nutty, but, like, at least it, like, makes sense, where we actually received broken translation. The only thing that saved that game for me was Tifa, because I'm in love with her.
I'm in love
Like I
with
said,
Latifah.
I like the music.
Music's really good. Great
Music,
music. Okay,
like,
great music.
I bring up
Even
like,
if it is, like, weird sounding because
it-
it's the PlayStation
it is,
1.
but like when you hear One Winged Angel like come on, you know what you're listening to. Like, that's,
I don't... Oh my god, people hype gas up fucking
I don't
One
think
Wing
it's the
Angel.
It's not good.
best. I
It's
don't.
not that good.
I don't
It's not
think
that
it's,
good.
I don't think it's the best song of like the bunch, but people know what it is.
It's recognizable.
But like, it's not the best song. Like, I'll fight that argument. It's not the best song.
Best song in... What would be the best song in 7?
I really
Birth
like.
of a God, the
yeah.
second Sephiroth theme is really fucking good.
One Wing sounds so much better in Kingdom Hearts 2 in the remake. Correct. Yeah, sure.
Oh, just the bass
So,
Genova
question
theme
on
is really
8.
good.
Was
I do like Genova
8
theme.
Was 8 still turn-based, similar to 7, where it was like kind of turn-based, but you had the timer on it, or was
Yeah, it
it
was
straight up
ATV.
turn-based like 10?
Yeah, it was ATV,
Okay.
which is like the classic Final Fantasy style.
I like ATB. I think it's a fine system. Fucking stop, like, staring at your items for 3 minutes and you'll be fine.
Right?
Like, people who, like, kind of, like, hate on ATB, I feel like, are really indecisive. And it's like, with ATB on in those games, it sort of makes you, like, plan out your moves still, but, like, gives you a amount of pressure to, like, keep it, keep it going, you know what I mean? Sometimes it can, like, fuck you if, like, a weird scene transition or, like, a long animation happens, but outside of that, I feel like it kind of, like, keeps it engaged a little bit more. And I mean, I feel like ATB kind of the natural progression eventually led to sort of how the Final Fantasy combat is now, which I'm a fan of. I don't care what anyone says. I get, like, people feeling nostalgia. It's a nostalgia thing. People want, like, turn-based Final Fantasies, and it's like, but, like, do you truly? Like, there's so many games that you could play that, like, have that you could go play. So I don't understand why Final Fantasy
All right.
has to do that still.
Sorry, now that I'm out. Holy shit, there's a lot of people in this line.
Exactly. I've been sitting up here with my meat stick for so long. I got my fucking crew socks, my beater on, and my stick of meat. Fucking
All I
flipping
know
this
is
book.
that
Somebody play with them, please!
I have less hope for the Strive community now. There's no way that people are still trying to do full charge dust, man. Oh my god.
I'll play you, Yanni. See, Yanni appreciates me.
All right, Jeremy.
All right.
So let's hear it.
Okay, so Final Fantasy VIII is a multi-story game. So you have the Squall story, and then you have the Laguna story, which is really what sells it to me. Is like, that's really fucking good. It all comes together. I'm not really sure how we feel about spoilers, and I also don't want to re-explain 8's story. I'm gonna assume that
I feel like if you're watching, like, you're going to hear spoilers for all of these games.
Yeah.
So, like, it's going to happen.
So 8 basically, the big hook in 8 is you find out that, like, this party of ragtag individuals who, like, you know, you've grouped up with over this whole time, who all have very interesting and, you know, close moments, and it's like, it's as Final Fantasy is, very good storytelling. They all went to, like, the same orphanage together, and they all forgot it, because the summons in the game, the Guardian Forces, take away your memories, and it's like a side effect that people don't really talk about in the game. But like, if you talk to enough NPCs, it's mentioned that like to dwell in your body, they have to take something, right? But nobody knows what it is, and turns out it's like it's memory. That because they take up a part of your brain that basically has all your memory cells. Really good hook in that game, because you find out that like also the headmaster of the garden, which is where, you know, the main character is and all that shit, owned the orphanage with his wife, who is the person you are trying to kill. Incredibly well written story. I can sell anyone on 8. I think it is just such a good game. On top of that, Blitzball and Triple Triad are tied for like the best Final Fantasy minigame. No question in my mind. They're both really fun. Wow.
I never.
Wow, I have Twitch chat open.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who is that guy?
Yeah.
Time him out.
That's insane. All right, let me shit on 10 real quick. Easy.
Oh, please.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Here we
this
go.
is what I came for. Let's hear it.
All right, so 10 has the worst like side mission system of any Final Fantasy game free.
What do you
Dodge
mean?
200 lightning bolts, bro. You know,
Listen.
why don't you learn this Chocobo riding game?
Yeah.
That's incredibly frustrating, and no one likes to do it. And getting the
The
final weapons
Chocobo
is a
riding game
chore.
was not
It's
that
fun.
hard.
It's
It was
not
not
fun.
that fucking hard. I did that as a
not fun.
child.
That's cool, man. It's
I
still
didn't
not
both
fun.
give you. That shit's stupid. But like, the Chocobo thing was not that bad.
All right. So, also, Seymour is a terrible villain, and he did not even deserve to be part of that game's story. And he
Why
gets
is that?
wiped out completely with no fucking story. It's insane.
His story is that he's a fucking maniac. Well, I mean, Seymour was clearly like a fucking like Sephiroth attempt, but he didn't like need a story. The dude's story is he's a fucking psycho.
He still needed a story if he was going to be that connected to it. You literally meet him through the whole game. Literally the whole game. He's in the final dungeon.
Nice, Mordred.
But like, yeah, like Seymour's a terrible story in my opinion. Like that's just, it's bad. I don't like Seymour's story at all, or the Guados. Like it's not good. Honestly, the most memorable
very
part of that
frustrated.
game. It's a good game. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. 10 is a good game. But like the best part of that game is being asked if you want to ride the shoe buff. Okay.
Ride the shoe buff?
I remember getting very frustrated on, I want to say, was the second Seymour fight where you're like on the cliff.
On the mountain, yep.
The mountain fight is
Yeah.
like notoriously a killer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because like it really like fucks you up if you were like. I think what happened to a lot of people is that they weren't really, not necessarily like grinding, but they weren't like.
They weren't going in the right spaces for the gear grid,
yeah,
which
like their
I would
builds
like to
were
attack
wrong,
right
essentially.
now as a terrible system, and they did fix it in future versions because they knew it was so bad.
Why not?
That's right.
I listen. If you can't talk while playing Strive, I definitely can't talk while playing Strive.
Listen, I gotta get my points out now before I have to fight a fucking Potemkin who's gonna try and fully charge dust me. Okay.
Oh, the room is full. That's funny.
But yeah.
You really fucking.
Okay, so 8 has like Sphere Grid's really bad. I hate
What
Sphere
am I
Grid.
playing then? I'm not playing Yanni. Who is this? Who the fuck's Big Pumpkin?
I don't know.
I saw Big Pumpkin playing Kai though.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I closed
I'm
Final
not
Fantasy
Leo.
14 for this.
I'm sorry, it's not my fault. I didn't do it. I didn't do this to you. Blame fucking Big Pumpkin.
I don't know who Big Pumpkin is.
What a name.
Oh, man. Jeremy, any other
That-
points on why 8 is better than 10?
There is, man.
Oh, it's Jay.
I have to go through so much.
Oh,
'cause
Jay's Big Pumpkin?
I
Oh,
understand.
I knew it. He wore the purple.
I understand that there's a lot of people who did not play 8 fully through. That's why I get a lot of bad opinions about it. Because I'm like, oh yeah, how did you take it when Selfie's whole garden was blown up and you had to help bury the dead? And they're like, excuse me? And I'm like, I know you didn't play this game.
It's fair. Thoughts on the
Yo,
Pixel
if 8's on
remaster
sale on
factor?
PlayStation, I'll go play it.
So 8, you can actually play the remastered version on, I think, any console right now, as well as, I think it's available on Steam. I'm pretty sure it's available on Steam. Remaster's really good. It looks good.
Didn't people have problems with the remaster, or wasn't there something with it that
Not for
people
8.
were like, not for 8? I thought
think
there was
a-
something that
not for
people were
8.
like mad
I
about.
think a couple of them had some like issues.
I never heard of an 8 issue, to be honest with you. And I played that game, like, I platinumed that game. It's good. Like, everything worked fine. Yeah, there's so much, man. Like, one of your final party members is, you know, a trained sniper, named Irvine, and the first time he has to, like, actually kill a human being in the game, like, you have him try to snipe someone, he has, like, cold feet and freaks out about it and explains, like, what death is to him. Man, it's so good. It's such a fucking good game. People are missing out.
That's actually kind of badass.
There's a lot of moments like that in that game that are just like, when I talk about the story, I'm like, there's so many good hits in this game. Like, running from the spider in the beach, a lot of people know that scene is like, it feels genuinely tense.
Let's see.
Vinny, did you ever play 8?
I did a long time ago.
Also, the big complaint with 8 that I understand from people is the junction system, but the junction system gives you back exactly what you get for learning it. You can break that game in chapter 1. Like, you can be incredibly strong in chapter 1 if you know what you're doing with the junction system.
Jeremy, when's the last time you've gone back and played 8?
So when the remaster dropped, which was like, what, 3 or 4 years ago? I think it was like right before or during COVID. I had fully played through the remaster, including beating the hidden final boss and all that stuff. So probably like 2-3 years ago.
Colin, what about you? When was the last time you played 10?
A couple years ago. It wasn't that long. Because my wife also likes 10 a lot, so I was just kind of like replaying it for the fuck of it. I ended up playing something else because I don't know, fighting games probably. So why did I burst there? But yeah, so probably a couple years ago, like 2 or 3.
Okay.
Alright. So let's take a look at these again. So let's look at what you guys consider the worst one. Jeremy,
Final
what
Fantasy
Jeremy,
1.
what is for AF?
After something.
After years, 4, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's very forgettable is why I put it on D tier. Like, I don't think I've talked to anyone and been like, yeah, but that extra 4 expansion we got years later, that was lit, right? I've heard nobody talk about it,
Let's
and
skip-
I think it was just very forgettable.
Let's skip all that stuff. The one that I see here is 12.
I also have 12 pretty low.
So why is
12
12?
is-
Why is 12? I'm gonna not consider 12 the after what I believe that's what the PS4 game, 12 RW, whatever, Revenant Wings.
Oh,
Revenant Wings,
Isn't
yeah.
that like the DS one or
Is that the
something?
DS?
Wasn't it on DS?
There is one on the
Definitely
DS.
a handheld.
You're just
yeah.
like Vaughn and Pinello in that game, right?
That list I literally looked up Tier List Maker, and all these extra ones were on it. You
Okay.
can just
Yeah,
skip them.
same
I
thing.
won't
So
talk
12,
about them.
straight up 12. Why is 12 the worst one?
Because
just
they remade
fucking-
it and it was still terrible. I don't really know where to start with that game. I think so. I've explained this to a few people. Do you guys know
Vaughn.
the lore about what happened with 12 in development, or no?
No, I don't.
I think I've told Sun it before because it makes
You
a lot
have.
of sense of what that game is. So apparently the lore is that, and this is something that I'm pretty sure has been confirmed, but might just be rumors, but makes a lot of sense. Initially, the game was actually supposed to be a game about Ash, the princess, getting back her kingdom, and Bosch, who's also one of the party members, was going to be a big focus on the game as well, and trying to like find out why his twin brother betrayed him. So that initial hook in 12 is actually really well written, and that's like what's interesting about 12. And then for some reason, during the end of development, they decided that they weren't going to go with that storyline, and they needed like a self-insert character. So they added Vaughn and his friend Pinello. So you get this game that's like, I don't even know what the fuck to call 12. It's bizarrely out of place in a lot of its story beats, because I swear, like, once you're done getting the castle back in like the first moments of the game, nothing really happens. Like, it doesn't feel victorious, like, it doesn't feel great, it's just very confusing. And then I remember, like, the next dungeon you're doing, you just start getting summons, and they don't really go into why you're getting summons. It is a confused mess of a game, and I don't think the story is good.
I won't disagree with you.
Also, the battle system's atrocious.
Yeah,
They were
that-
clearly trying to do something with it.
I was waiting to see if you were going to bring that up. I think everybody agrees with that part right there.
It's so bad, and honestly, the game just like, if you know what you're doing in it, you just quickening every fight. Like, you just use quickenings every fight. Like, just blow everything up. Okay, this dude's at like 20% HP. Okay, just auto attack him. I'm not even going to control my party. Like, they're just going to auto him to death. And, like, that is, God, that was at least 90% of my boss fights.
Yeah, I know some people like really enjoyed like that aspect of like that, you know what I mean? But I did not. Especially, you know, because for me it was like 10 happened and then 11 happened and then 12. And I was like, okay, cool, you know, it's like, you know, sort of getting back to like a, you know, like a real Final Fantasy game or whatever, right? And to get 12 was rather disappointing.
Yeah, I did the usual, which, like, I think it's a fair thing to do, is that if you really don't like a game, if it does get remastered or if it does re-release, give it another shot. So I got like that weird Zodiac version that they put out a few years ago, and I tried it again and like got halfway through the game and I was like, I do not like this. I don't like this game. It's just not there for me. Like, I can't even like beat it again because I just don't like the game.
There. Alright, let's pull up, Angus, you said... Let's see here.
I look up to look at the fucking tier list and he fucking round start fucking pot busters me. I hate this game.
You put, Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah, because that game's like fucking. It's. I mean, like, and to be fair, I'm talking about like original Final Fantasy 1, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to. I'm also thinking about it as like, would I ever go back and play that game? Absolutely fucking not. You know what I mean? Like, it's long as fuck. Like, it's not like fun to look at. The job system's not really interesting when we have what we have now. I just see no reason to like ever fucking play Final Fantasy 1 at this point. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I would play like every other Final Fantasy before 1, just mostly because it got aged out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it says, I don't know, like, you know, I'm not coming at it as like, oh, at the time, and, you know, what it did, you know, it started everything, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's all fine and whatever, but just like, I would never, ever, ever play that fucking game.
It's a fair answer. Rick, you got any questions, my friend?
Mm,
I know you're the one absorbing most of the information because you've played the least of them.
Talking about
Yeah,
9
what-
now.
You want to talk about 9 now?
What-
Oh, I can't. He's
Yeah.
fucking in the middle of fucking.
I'll
He's,
listen to
he's
9.
honking.
I'd be honking. 9 is very contentious. Yeah, I'm gonna need a moment.
Okay.
fuck?
We'll end on that. We'll debate about 9
Man, what a debate.
for the last. We'll give it 10 to 15 minutes.
Fucking 2 brain cell soul players have. Kippy and I literally just did the same 4 moves at each other in a row.
Yeah, I think. All right, so for me, being a Final Fantasy X player, I've certainly wanted to go back and play and have a good time with it. But I feel like right now, and I'm biased right now because I love 10. But Jeremy, you've definitely convinced me to want to go back and try 8.
Let's go.
Even the remaster. Now, Khan, don't get me wrong, I love 10, and that's in my wheelhouse here. But I feel like I'm very interested in 8 now, listening to kind of like what you guys have been saying about things. So that is not a reflection of your debating tactics here. I love 10.
I didn't know that we had
I am-
anything in the line.
I'm there with you. I love
I'm
10.
sorry.
but I feel like-
Let me check my notes. The note just says "fuck you."
I feel like now, like hearing kind of like what has been shared, I like want to go back and try 8 a little bit.
You'll like it.
Play 8. It's a good game. Didn't get a
What's
fair
your-
shake because everyone expected 7 too.
Wait, what is this? Oh yeah, overwrite. What's your guys' favorite character? All of Final Fantasy.
All
Favorite
Final
character.
Fantasy?
Ooh,
All
man.
fantasy.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
That's a tough
Asking the
one,
hard
holy shit.
questions here.
God, so I'm thinking like, okay, a new Final Fantasy comes out and they're like, we're gonna add one character of your choice to this Final Fantasy,
Mhm.
so you play it, and I'm like, man, who would that character be?
How about this? Favorite good guy, favorite bad guy.
I think my favorite character, like hands down, man, it's got to be Auron. It's got to be like, there's no question.
Like, it's hard to like kind of contend with Auron. I feel
He's the
Auron
most
had
badass character.
literally everything going for him. Like, what was bad about Auron? Like, what was there to not enjoy about Auron as a character? You know, Oh, I fucked up.
What was his like level 1 super or whatever the heck it was? It was like Bushido something, right?
Bushido Blade, I think.
Bushido was his. That's like his Limit Break name. Like that's how you get into Limit Break with him. Yeah, his best is the one where you can just vault something out of combat and kill it instantly. That shit was mad funny.
The fucking
Shooting Star, that was the name of it. Yeah.
for the sandworm.
Yeah, so good.
He like eats the sandworm into space. That shit's so funny. Fucking hate this game. And what else? I feel like if it wasn't clearly hands down Auron, God. Hold on, I just did soul things, and I'm fucking very happy about that. I'm gonna do another soul thing.
Rick, I hate that you asked that question. Now I gotta think.
I'm asking the hard questions, boys.
I really like Kefka. Always thought Kefka was cool.
Yeah, whatever, you fucking bitch.
I'm sorry.
Basic ass fucking.
Sorry that I don't know.
I'm having a hard time thinking of the best villain.
I can't. It's hard because there's so many that I like.
Who's the
They're,
best
they're all
villain?
so fucking cool.
It's a fucking Final Fantasy 14 spoiler.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Asking the hard questions.
No, I was trying to do that. I wanted to do that, Kippy. It was supposed to be me.
That's what you get for saying Kefka's stupid.
I mean, it's just so basic.
It is, but I've always liked him the most.
I have a favorite
Like,
Final
it's-
Fantasy soundtrack, not soundtrack, but song, track, whatever. Mine would have to be Celeste's theme.
Celis is pretty good.
Like that song, like is really fucking good. The scene's super good in 6, but I'm a big fan of that song. Also, I'm trying to think of what it is. Oh, I also like Roses of May from 9. Those are probably my 2 favorite. See all these ZPs? That's me trying to do the fucking super. What? Hello? Hate this game. Y'all actually play this as your main game? Wild.
Listen, I expect.
Let the hate roll through you.
Listen, Hutch told me that a homeless man could walk into the Combo Breaker venue and just pick May and win the whole tournament. I'm gonna be that guy.
You're gonna be the homeless man.
I'm gonna be the homeless
Hey,
man.
are you playing
That
Strive?
walks into the
You're probably-
venue and is like, "Hey
Yeah,
there,
you're gonna
kids."
not sell your house. You're gonna like lose your house and then just fucking come into the house and come to the venue being like,
Hey kids, I heard this like little girl in the orange hat is like top tier.
that's not true, is it?
Who's this fucking asshole?
Whatever. What the fuck ever.
I can't wait for Combo Breaker. It's gonna be so
It's gonna
fun.
be fun.
Save me from this shit. Thank God. SF6. Oh, save from this game. Like, sometimes I think this game is cool, and then I play this game, and I'm like, I fucking hate all of you and everything.
Still trying to think of another answer because Kefka's not good enough.
He
there's
fucking
so
destroyed his.
many. Like, Khan hates
If like you like Kefka as like a character, you definitely like Joker.
Joker. Like, Joker from what? Is Batman Joker or like Persona Joker?
Yeah, people who like Kefka are like way too into Joker.
I like Joker, but not like that. Like, I don't fucking worship the fucking Joker. Like, I know some people that do, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not that bad.
Actually, a serial killer.
Like, I don't know. I also, when I was a kid, I liked Vincent because he has the same name as me and he has a shotgun.
That's a completely fair argument.
But he's also like, I don't know, he's just very fucking sad and depressed, and I don't want to be like that. Like I said, I also really like Saz. I like Saz's personality.
I do like
Saz is 13 to me. Like 13 is not a good game past Saz for me.
Alright. Still,
You know who sucks in 13?
fucking
Snow.
Hope.
Hope.
Well, Hope too, but
The answer is
Snow.
always Hope.
What a douchebag.
I liked Snow.
The bag. Yeah, but Hope sucks too. Oh.
I'm glad everybody.
What was
I thought
what
you
was the
guys were
girl's
gonna
name?
be like,
Fang?
"You're fucking stupid. How could you hate Hope?"
Ooh,
Nah,
someone named
bro.
Fang.
I'm not defending 13 a day in my life. It's never gonna happen. I'm sorry, man. People like it's not that bad, but for a Final Fantasy game, it's bad. Like that's basically my stance
It's
on it.
not. It's not. Whatever. I felt like 13 respected my time. Everyone always bitches about the fact that like, oh, it feels like it's on rails. Like, yeah, fine, whatever. I don't give a shit. This game also was still like fucking 80 hours long.
10 is your favorite game, so you don't know what an overworld is. I get it.
It's okay.
That's fine, bro.
Overworlds are stupid. Overworlds
aren't
are
stupid.
Overworlds
but
are
it's
fucking
fine.
stupid. I
But
really
it's fine.
love exploring this corner of this fucking place to have jack shit over here.
Well, oh, I'm sorry. Exploring corners and having that sounds a lot like 13, bro. That's kind of weird.
There's no corners to explore. It's a fucking line. It's a
Yeah.
linear path.
That ain't good.
And you're like, oh, here's like a thing to the left. You go over there and you're like, oh, there's a chest. Cool. And then you go back and you fucking continue on your fucking line. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna fucking wander around this fucking 8,000 mile fucking square region and then have absolutely nothing here. And I'm super cool about that. Like when you fucking like people. And I'm gonna bitch about 7 again. Like you get into 7's overworld for the first time out of Midgar, and everyone's like, "Oh, you know, go around. You go around that map, jack shit. Nothing, fucking nothing. There's absolutely nothing." And then you fucking, if you're dumb like me, it takes you way too long to find that fucking town because it's like it's so big, it's too big. Why am I here?
That was unexpected.
What, Overworld? Fuck Overworlds. Overworlds are dumb. They're stupid. I'm really glad that, like, you know, a lot of, you know, sort of RPGs, like, stop messing with it so much. Because it's like, first they got praised for, like, a long time for being like, oh, you know, it's a big world to explore. And it's like, look at, like, this world that we built and blah, blah, blah. And it's pointless. All of it's pointless.
You're right.
There's no
you're right.
point.
That's why you like 14 so much, right?
Yeah, because I fucking go around and explore in 14. Now I'm beelining shit, dude.
Mm-hmm. Never did any side content that involved exploring.
Like what? I'm not sure what you're getting at. Which thing?
Little Bozja action there.
I fucking hated Bozja. I hated Bozja. What do you mean? You think I fucking liked Bozja? This shit sucked. Bozja and Eureka I hated doing. Y'all made me! Y'all made me do Bozja. You did this to me.
Alright, because we're running low. I want to hear this 9 debate. You got 10 minutes.
9 deserves better.
All right.
Yeah, 10
It does
minutes.
not.
You can
God,
put the
9 is
controller
so
down.
bad, bro. Where can I start? Oh my God. Everything is bad about its story. It doesn't keep the same story beats. Garnet's a bad character. Steiner deserved better. Beatrix should have been in the party. The initial Phantom Troop getting turned to stone was fucking lame.
Why? Why was that lame? What do you mean?
That was a bad story beat.
Why?
Because they could have just kept them alive and you could have had them in the party, bro. Instead of being forced to fucking play Quina. Quina? What is that thing, bro?
That thing's not even a fucking mandatory character!
I mean, you still get it.
You're really bitching about a fucking...
Seems like a waste of character slot, I'm just saying, bro.
What character slot? It's not a it's an optional character.
Quina's not optional.
Kina is optional, I'm pretty sure.
No, she's tied to
Like,
the story.
I'm
What are you?
super sure.
Do you know 9,
on,
bro?
hold on.
Actually, can we have this talk first? Do you know 9?
Silence is killing me. It's suspenseful.
Oh, the first opportunity to get that character is optional.
Oh my God, bro.
You know, suck my dick. Okay.
Anyway, the best party member in that game is Freya, and like everyone else sucks, dude. I'm sorry. Aiko's annoying. Garnet's terrible. I'm sorry. Who writes a story that's like, yeah, this main female protagonist with you, she's gonna be useless for parts of the game. Like, come on, bro. She literally is too sad about her mom's death to function, and you just have to deal with that in the game. And you're gonna tell me that's an incredibly well written game. It's not.
Who said? Okay, I'm not like fucking being like it's a fucking masterpiece of like storytelling, but I thought the storytelling was fun. I thought that a lot of the characters' sort of motivations was really cool. I thought that
What motivations? Like, who has a motivation that's good in 9?
Vivi is a pretty damn good one.
Vivi was to not be forgotten by his village?
What do you mean? Vivi went through this whole thing of like, who am I? What am I? And then discovers a fucking golem basically, and is not super cool with this fact, and then realizes that like, you know, he can find a home in a place that he belongs that he felt like he never had with these fucking golems, but they're all suffering and dying off. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, yeah, I'll give you Vivi. It's pretty much just Vivi for me. Freya was a cool character, but her story was fucking buns.
I feel like her story was also like really fast.
Amaranth didn't really have a story. Like, I don't even fucking know what that character's whole story arc was.
I named him Pickle, so when he when he joined, he's like, I am the flaming pickle, and I was very into that as a child.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Kuja is not a good anything.
Ujo was another Sephiroth attempt.
The Queen is a better villain than Kuja could ever be, to be honest. And it's weird that they were like, let's pivot and do all this stuff about Zidane, and like the whole game becomes. And this does happen with other protagonists, right? Because it happens with Cloud and Sephiroth, but like, it literally became everything about Zidane for like 2 final discs. And that's what really threw me off, is like, I got to the final dungeon, and it just hit me, like, I didn't care about Kuja in like any of this. Terra was cool, but I did not enjoy like anything past that. Oh, and battle system was really bad. I think 9 has one of the worst ATB systems.
Why?
Just no control over limit breaks, like what is it, dying mode or whatever. It's just random. It's just completely random.
Random? It's not random, is it?
I
I'm
think
like
it's...
pretty sure it's not random.
No, wait, maybe you're right. I just remember
you
like
generate it.
not having control over it like at all.
I know there were like fights where like it would just happen.
Yeah, trance. That's what it was called.
Trance,
Took me a
yeah.
second.
But one of my favorite things about 9 was the return to sort of the fantasy kind of world, right? Because they started really getting like that post, you know, future sort of like futuristic robots and like fucking tech and beep boops and stuff, and then 9 felt like really nice after like 7 and then 8, and then I was like, oh yeah, you know, fucking like fantasy worlds are really cool too. And I really appreciated that aspect of it. Zidane, I didn't super care for as a protagonist, but as you know, fucking, it's really not about the protagonists. Steiner definitely did deserve better.
I just like, yeah, there's characters I don't understand the purpose of in that game, and that's my biggest hang up. Like, after you learn about the summoners and you meet Aiko, like, she's forgettable. There's nothing that really happens with that character after that.
Not super quite, because she's like really tied to Garnet, but because like the at least gameplay wise, like Aiko was like the true summoner, where Garnet was like summoner white mage mix sort of thing. I also did like its like unlock battle system thing. Even though if it did really feel tedious at times, but sometimes they all did in ways. I feel like they took like the materia system and kind of like did a bit of a better job at it, but.
Yeah, no, I can't agree with that. I think the skill like locking system is really bad. I didn't like it at all. They pretty much took the customization that 7 and 8 allowed you to do with materia and junctions and stuff, and we're like, well, let's piss it out the window. You're locked into what you get, and it's like, I don't want this.
I mean, I kind of did, just because one of the things I don't like so much about 7 is that there's like no such thing as a class. Like whether a character is good or bad in 7 boils entirely down to its limit break. which is like at this point well defined as like these three matter and everything else sucks.
That's fair. I mean, if you're looking for that end of the game, I'm just more thinking of like base customization. Like if I want to boot up 7 and like make someone a summoner, I can do that with like, Magic Plus and all that shit. And I just don't think that exists in 9. 9 does have a fun little side thing that a lot of people don't know about though, which is it does have 2-player mode randomly.
Sorry, has what?
9 has 2-player mode, like multiplayer.
Is it just like someone controls one of the characters or something?
Yes. You literally pick which slots of the party the other controller can control, and you can play like 2-player that way.
Never knew
Can you
that.
imagine playing that way, like with like your little brother or something?
I
and
did
like,
it. I did it with my brother.
And like he just like keeps like defending or something, and you're like,
Just
please,
using focus with VV over and over again. Like,
yeah,
you're
you're like, please.
gonna cast a spell.
Yeah, but I like 9. I think the characters are cool too. I think the designs. Steiner somehow is like the most basic knight, yet like as a design, I feel is iconic still, which is very
Oh.
weird.
Also, like they dabbled into like the dual tech system with VV and Steiner, and then like didn't do anything with it. That feels so confused. It bothers the hell out of me.
Like just Vivi and Steiner that have
It's
it.
just them. And I remember just sitting there being like, I don't really like games where they're like, oh, this character is so good you have to have him, right? But it's not like you eventually sweat enough to figure that out. Like, no, it's obvious from day one that like this is the guy. Like you have to have this character in there. Yuna actually does fulfill that role in 10 as well, where it's like summons are incredibly powerful, so like probably a good idea to have her on the main squad.
Right. I want 9 to come back. I want to give 9. I want a 9 remake. I want to give that like another shot.
You can get a 9 remake.
Because everyone has fucking sad baby brain.
I don't know. It's just not a good game. I have so many gripes with it. Oh, and where the fuck are the chocobos in 9? Can we talk about that?
Real quick.
There are chocobos in 9.
They like barely exist.
What do you mean barely exist? They're fucking chocobos. Like,
Nah, man.
what
I'm
do you
trying
want
to
to
get
fucking?
I
I
want
was
a
actually gonna.
racing game, like
No,
7.
the racing. Oh my god.
Remember when
that's
I
what
could
was gonna
breed
say.
them into, genetic nightmares?
And fucking that also took a billion years. And no, I don't need no more. Like, I don't know. There were definitely chocobos in 9. You got them like kind of early, if I remember. I was like, I think right after the hunt. I think you got a chocobo.
I think so. It's just like super forgettable. But yeah, I also think that 9 has the worst pacing of any Final Fantasy as well. I'm sorry, the Phantom Troop stuff at the beginning is not fun and not interesting. It's really boring. I don't like it. And then you're led on with a fake party with the Phantom Troop, and then they all get turned to stone, and new party.
Man, I didn't care about that. I didn't really like them like that anyway. Also, isn't that like Biggs and Wedge and shit? Like, you knew what was happening.
Damn, you just call them Biggs and Wedge and they gotta die now? That's crazy.
I mean, it means they don't fucking like matter that much.
Biggs and Wedge are reoccurring enemies in 8.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Biggs and Wedge are recurring characters in general in
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, aren't they like yeah? Because I remember, except 10. Well, they're in 10, but they're like the fucking like Blitzball guards,
Yeah, yeah.
which was weird, but.
All right. Fair enough.
What's fair enough? Is that just
I
the
was
way you're
talk- I was- No, I was
transitioning?
talking to somebody in the background.
Oh, okay. What the fuck happened in this chat?
All right.
Chat
What
was
time is it? We got-
overwhelmed by you popping off, going off.
So it's 10. It's 10:18. Vinny, I feel like we should wrap it up. Final arguments.
Any last arguments from chat or everyone in here?
Yeah,
15.
final statement for Final Fantasy VIII is it deserves to be played, and please look at it with an open mind, because people really toilet flushed that game and did not realize how good of a game it was. Also, if you do play it, try to get the aura magic, because it gives you limit breaks.
Hey, take a note.
14
All right,
goated.
taking notes.
10 is my favorite console one. I think it has held up still. I think that it's still very fun to play. It has probably some of the most memorable of a Final Fantasy game. And most importantly, 7's stupid and is not as good as people like to believe it is. But also, I'm really looking forward to the next 7 remake, because I did like the remake.
I like it.
Rick, how about you? You learn a
Final
lot.
words?
You learn a lot today.
I feel like I did, because they're. It was really cool listening to both of you guys, like just like chatting about the favorite parts of each games, and then obviously like shitting on the other ones. But I don't know. I like I said, I've tried 7, old 7, didn't care for it. I think people definitely look at it with nostalgia goggles on. 8 sounds cool. I think Squall's a cool character with his fucking, what is it, the gunblade? Is that what it is?
Yes. His main
he's a gunblade.
weapon is a gunblade, and you get free critical hits if you can time your trigger hits with his.
Yeah, like I think that's cool. I have no interest in playing 9 because I feel like it's like chibi boy kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It is
10
incredibly
will always
boring.
be. See, that's all I need to hear. 10 was always going to be one of my favorites. Probably my favorite right now, just because I love the story, and I love how you guys both described it. It's like super dark, like basically leading a suicide mission, because that's what it was. But as a kid, you know, that didn't really register. But now as a over 30-year-old man, that's fucking sick. I love it. I love that just there's despair all the way around it. Didn't really play. I didn't play 11. Didn't play 12. 13. Loved what they did with the new system. Hated some of the characters. Zaz was definitely the best character in that game. And never played 14. Tried 15. I wasn't down for the bro down. But maybe I'll go back and play it. We'll see. Looking forward to 16. Let's see. That's all I got.
I'm looking forward to 16 too. The combat looks fun.
The more I think about 16, the more tepid I am. But like, I know that team has made a banger in 14, so I hope they'll do it with 16. I just like, I don't like that switch from, you know, we're not gonna do the old school RPGs, so you got to do this, like, you know, and they just end up being button mash simulators.
Yeah,
so
well,
I'm like,
just- well, my boss, just calls it Devil May Cry 2.0.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't even look like that Devil May Cry though, like, because
Doesn't.
every time I rewatch that like gameplay stuff, it just looks like, oh look, all these buttons on the bottom right are mapped to something, and the combo seems automatic. So, yay! this doesn't look that fun, but I'll give it a shot.
I don't like his name though. I don't like the main character's name. I don't know.
What's his
Clyde?
name?
Is
Clyde?
it Clyde?
Clyde.
Yeah.
You don't
just-
like Clyde?
It doesn't sound Final
Clyde.
Fantasy to me for some reason. I don't know why.
Clyde. I think of South Park.
His name should have been Thunder.
Thunder. Thundaga.
We got lightning and cloud, so you need thunder.
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 It wouldn't work though. He's not blonde. Got black hair.
True.
He's got black
Call
hair.
him Zeke
Zeke.
instead of Zach.
Zeke.
Zeke. But all right, everyone. So, Kangas, you want to? I know you talked about it Tuesday, but do you want to talk about really quick what's coming up here? What has been?
Oh yeah.
what you've accomplished?
So I can't listen to Strive anymore.
That's fair.
So next month, June 17th, King of Upstate. we will have Street Fighter 6 with $300 pop bonus, Tekken 7 with 100, Strive with 100. We're also doing a couple side brackets of Killer Instinct, MK, and so, I think it's supposed to be some retro thing. I think it's supposed to be VSAV. I don't know. I haven't heard back in a while. But yeah, so check that out. Start.gg/KOU23. Sign up, pre-reg, please. The more that people pre-reg, the more I can be like, yes, it justifies my space requirements. So please go pre-reg. And it's free also to pre-reg. You can just do it. And let's see. So then after that, starting in July, we're going to be doing some monthlies. We're calling it Iron Orange Forge. It's starting on the 8th, July 8th. It's going to be Street Fighter 6, Tekken, Strive, KI, MK, and Smash Ultimate. And then it's just going to be every second Saturday moving on. Starting in September, we're going to start running it as a series where like all the monthlies until I think April's. You have points, count up to like a finals tournament with the top 8 of each game in May.
Ooh.
And then like June, July, August is like off season and KOU season. So that's going to be really cool. So definitely check that out when I actually make the page live. I mean, because it's July. There's some time. So, but definitely go register for King of Upside.
Looking forward to it. Gonna be fun.
I'm super
Yeah,
excited.
Vinny, have you been to Elite Gaming yet?
I have not. I tried to go there this past weekend when I was at Retro Game Con Junior, but sadly did not make my way over there as we were slammed.
That place is fucking sweet. Can't wait for more events there.
I had one.
Yeah, that's
I had
probably
one-
where we'll
one
be
table.
doing all the larger events and stuff. So, oh yeah, with the starting of the monthlies, 3 lives I believe is moving bi-weekly, and I'm thinking also that I'm not charging for that anymore, and then also there's no bracket, so it's just like a hangout, practice and
Practice
play and sort of thing. Have some tendies, drink some beer. Also, I don't have to bring my stream setup anymore, which would be really nice. So yeah, I'm.
A lot of
You know,
good stuff coming.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. I'm trying to play around with different sort of ideas and things, and see where we get with that. So definitely keep up, check it out, and then come support. It's really cool of you.
Mm-hmm. Then he's also he's a first to 10 hot set champion now too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah. The next day was rough, but I'm looking at my plaque right now, and it was all worth it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the next one will be in June, probably late June. I'm not sure yet, but I already know
Listen, can I just
we got Yanni and Hanan playing Marvel 2, and there will be a Street Fighter 6 match.
listen? I'm just gonna say it. The next hot set's got a lot to live up to because I watched both Tekken and the KI set. It was a pretty hype set, both ends. They went pretty long, and all players certainly brought their A game there. Got a lot to live up to.
And shout outs to the community. We have quite the hot sauce pool to pick from now.
Yeah, we got up to 22 right now,
Oh,
right?
We're gonna have more than that.
Yo, shout out to Ken though. Ken
Yeah.
brought all the sauces,
Uh,
and Bo brought some
Yeah,
sauces.
the bow special, but makes it awesome because I get to pick the sauces now. I get to actually pick them.
Yeah, you wild with that mix.
Don't,
With that-
don't
with
make
that
me
10
angry.
set.
Don't make me angry.
You like lured people into a false sense of security once they got to 3, and then you just fucking hit them with the butthole fire right on 4 like that. You're a wild man.
That's crazy.
Some people ask for hotter.
Jeremy,
can
when are you
make
gonna
it
come
hotter.
play the hot sets?
I already said I would. I just gotta figure out a schedule, but I'll go against Christy in like Street Fighter 6.
Fuck yeah!
Oof.
You hear that, Chris?
Are you good with hot stuff? You okay with
Yeah.
hot stuff?
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's what we'll do. I'll keep you two notified.
I wonder
We'll
how
figure
Chris
it out.
is with hot sauce.
It doesn't mean much because their sauce isn't that hot, but I'm a blazing challenge champion at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh man, he's got it on his resume.
Chris said
Like
he's
I'll
game.
upload a picture that everyone can see.
So Chris says he's game. So I will figure out. It has to be a Tuesday night, as I'm off on Tuesdays, and it makes it easier. Unless you guys can't do it, and we can figure out another day that would work for everybody to be there.
Yeah. To be fair, Swans and I have retired from hot sets. We've discussed it. Post hot set, we're retiring from. we're not going to do another one.
It's a shame that plaque I had made up for him is now going in the recycling bin.
He was in worse shape than I was. I definitely got the business at 4 a.m. that next morning, but he got it a lot worse than I did. So we've agreed.
Hang on, let me. I have one.
We did our
You
part.
can put that on
I have
stream.
been
I
sent a
promise.
picture that you were all going to look at the champion of the what's it called again, Jeremy? The Buffalo. Hot-
Blazing Wing Challenge. Yeah, you have to eat. I think it's 15 of their hottest wings in 5 minutes.
That is what 15.
Yeah.
That is wild. First of all, I could crush 15, but I can't crush 15 in 5 minutes.
It was a lot of good planning. You know, I just kind of kept going.
Man,
Let's get it up here.
That is the Watertown Buffalo Wild Wings, by the way, that I'm a champion at.
B-dubs.
Beat up Dubs. It wasn't that
There
hot,
it is.
to be
There's
honest.
the face of a champion.
Let's see it.
I see the tier list right
It's-
now.
it's-
Oh, there it is. There it is. What a champion.
Oh, look at that. Not even a bead of sweat on that man's forehead.
Nah, give me hot food. I love it.
All right. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll talk about. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out.
Chris has failed me, and I'm very upset.
Chris failed you.
Yeah. He didn't tell me that I had to go also to the Steam page to like click on something to get in to like opt into the beta. He let me down.
Chris is the Street Fighter guy. What's he doing letting people down like that?
Now I
Playing
assume,
Street Fighter 6
hopefully I don't have
this
to do
weekend.
anything extra to get into the PlayStation one.
Open beta. It's crossplay though, so
Yeah, because I go to like download it, it's like apparently everyone's saying like, oh yeah, there's a link to like opt in somewhere. I'm like, I don't see that anywhere, and they're like, oh yeah, it's not there anymore, huh? Weird. And I'm like, Chris, Chris.
Is this the first time you're playing 6?
I mean, I played the demo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the demo, of course.
Yeah. I do have both my Steam and PlayStation account links, so I'm gonna fucking hope that there's not anything else to do, Chris, on PS5.
Alrighty, guys. It is past 10:30. This old man's got to go to.
Okay.
Let's call it a night, boys.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. That was a lot of fun. Good arguments.
Great arguments.
And also, I was
My
sitting
note-
here.
We'll figure out.
I was sitting here thinking about it. I actually made a mistake. I like Celeste more than I like Terra. In 6.
Yes, because Celeste is the best.
Yes. My bad.
Terra's a weird one, man. Like she's a cool character, but I don't know. Her story's kind of meh.
I made a mistake. I'm sorry. But I still like
Well,
Kefka. I don't care. You can say simple or whatever. Kefka's fucking cool. So, but alrighty. Thank you again,
Fair enough.
guys. And we'll see you. Well, we're all going to Combo Breaker, so no next week.
Yeah. Nothing next week.
Maybe
No.
if, maybe if
Yeah, Combo
everyone's
Breaker.
available, we'll sit around a table and we'll do it live from Combo Breaker.
I'm manifesting karaoke.
Maybe we'll do karaoke in the stream. We'll finally get banned for copyright infringement.
I don't know. I've watched people do karaoke on stream, so
It's true.
I can't wait to hang out with everybody. Count Breaker. It's gonna be fun.
We'll talk about it. But, alrighty, guys. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night. See you.
bye.
Good night.